Lucky you!
Best 36 holes in golf.
You tuned in to Alternate Shots Podcast,
Marnie's Army.
where we talk about golf,
Marquis, Sandy's,
poker,
Bond, James Bond.
horse racing,
I'm all in.
great movies.
Alfred Hitchcock.
We have no script.
And down the stretch they come.
We're glad you joined us.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Whoop, let's start again.
Susie Maxwell came to the LPGA Tour in 1964. I was already playing and we became friends early on. I have no idea what made us think that we could play professional golf and earn a living, but here's how it went a little bit. Susie became Rookie of the Year that year in 1964, and I did a little research. Round numbers. The total purse for the LPGA Tour was $305,000. And through the efforts of many, over a long time, and a lot of great players, and all kinds of things that have happened in women's golf, the LPGA Tour this year is going to play for $90 million.
Okay, Billy Regan, we are so happy today. With us is a special guest, none other than the 1972 USGA Women's Open champion, Susie Maxwell Berning. Welcome, Susie.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to be with you both.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Felt like we were just with you 2 weeks ago, and we were. You were.
Yeah,
right?
that was a great time at Wingfoot. I sure appreciated them inviting me to their 100th anniversary. That is something else.
That's right. And just 50 years ago, you won the Open at Wingfoot, so you're part of the history. Anyway, you're always
Has it been that long ago? Oh my gosh.
1972.
50 years ago?
Well, in golfer years, it was yesterday. What do you remember back then? Did you show up at Wingfoot that week and that was the first time you saw the East Course, or did you have the opportunity to play there before the Open started?
No, that was the first time I'd ever seen it. A very interesting thing. I was with Dunlop Sports, and I believe Paul McDonald was a member at Wingfoot, and he was also CEO of Dunlop out of Buffalo. Well, they were doing some advertising of their golf ball. And now this goes back 4 years before the Open. So that was 1968. For some reason, I happened to be in New York playing some other tournament, and they called me up, Dunlop did, and they wanted to do some press shots of advertising their new golf ball. And believe it or not, Paul McDonald took me to Wingfoot, and the ad, it shows me standing in front of the Wingfoot clubhouse advertising these Dunlop golf balls. And that was 4 years before I won the Open. Now, I had never played Wingfoot then. I just was there for a photo shoot. And
did you happen to use the Dunlop ball when you won the Open?
Oh, yeah. I was with Dunlop at the time. Yes. Max Fly balls. Yes. Yeah.
The whole thing, ball, clubs, woods.
Yeah, everything. Yes, everything. Yeah. They paid me a big $3,000 a year.
I remember the Dunlop Max Fly with a little blue kind of logo.
The dots, the blue dot and the red dot. Yeah.
I played many of those and lost many of them, Billy.
The Max Fly DDH, the dodecahedron design.
But you came to Wingfoot, unlike a lot of other people. You already won an Open in 68. You beat good old Mickey Wright. I'm sure you were happy about beating Mickey Wright in 1968.
No, that was a fun experience. Yeah. I had just been married 7 weeks. So my mind probably wasn't on golf that much in the evenings, but I just had fun. I led every day, but I never gave it any thought. You know, it's funny how your mind works. I recall going to the Wingfoot Open in 72. Joe DeFini, I don't know if you guys remember DeFini clothing.
Sure. Yep.
Well, Joe, I mean, I represented them, wore their clothing and everything, and Joe and his wife had a home in Pelham, which wasn't very far from Wingfoot. I actually stayed with them during that week. And Joe, I had at least 2 brothers, maybe 3. One was, his name was Sal, and Sal wasn't a golfer. And after the first round at Wingfoot, my blazing 79, had dinner with Joe and Sal and family. And Sal says to me, "You're going to have to play real hard or you're going to miss the cut. And, you know, it's funny, it never fazed me. I never gave it any thought. Here's a guy trying to remind me that I'm going to miss the cut if I don't play good. And I never even thought about it. And of course, you know what happened after that. I made the cut.
You're absolutely
But,
made the cut.
I forgot, what was your second round? Was it like 71 or 72? It was pretty low. I
I
think
think
it
it
was,
was 73, I think.
which
And then
is,
76. And the third round, when I had to 76, I could get up and look at the scorecard. But on a par 5, I had 8. I
oh
was
boy.
3 over on the par 5, and I was only 2 over for the rest of the holes.
Down
No, this was the backside.
Oh, then
This-
that's the
Number
12th
12.
hole. The 12th hole.
12th hole.
Long, long
And
hole.
I
You
do
can
not
see it here on
remember.
the
I don't
card.
remember.
It's called Long John, and it's 500 and probably 15 yards from where you played at 500 yards. Very long uphill couple of shots.
Yeah, I don't recall, but I made an 8 on it.
So back to the Open. Pam Barnett should have won that Open, don't you think?
Well, and I think, if I recall, she started out the final round like 2 birdies in the first 2 holes or something, and at one time was 5 shots ahead or more of me. But then, Pam, I can't recall if she'd ever experienced the pressure of an Open, and unfortunately I had. And it's like Kathy Ahern, I think, was in contention too. And if I look back at the ones that were in contention, they hadn't experienced it like I had. I guess I had a little bit of memory to feed back on the pressure since of the '68 Open, and I think I was fortunate that Mickey Wright wasn't in contention to speak of, or Joanne Carner kind of blew it, I think. So the experienced golfers, the ones that really won a lot on tour that week or day, they weren't right down my back. Of course, did play long. I do know this. I don't hit the ball very far. I never did, but I kept the ball in the fairway, and I made some critical putts. And I think I also 3-putted the 16th hole the final day to kind of make it more exciting for everybody else.
But you did birdie perhaps the hardest par 3 at Wingfoot. That was the 17th hole. Didn't you birdie that hole? I think you did. You made a 20-footer from right to left. That
Yeah,
got you to 11. Yeah.
The USGA didn't do us much favors there. The hole played 200 yards. And for me, my driver, I could probably fly at 210, sometimes 220. My 3-wood, it wouldn't go 190 or maybe less. And the 17th hole, it looked a little downhill in the tee box, but then the green was a little bit elevated. And, if you came up short, it's not going to roll on. And for some, who knows why, I just saw it in my eyes. I felt it in my hands. I said, I'm going to feather a driver in there. Well, I swear to this day, the new equipment, the big, huge heads and stuff, the metals, woods, you can't feather those things. There's no feel in them. But this old persimmon driver, the little tiny head, I just swung, I think, like half speed, and I hit the driver, and it landed on the green, and it stayed on the green.
But you hit into just at the base of the hill, right, Billy?
The false front in the front, and then it kicked up. And you said the USGA didn't do you any favors. Nobody can really do you any favors on that hole.
So a lot of the competitors had trouble with that hole. You got the skin probably at least for the Sunday, right, Billy? Maybe for the whole
I'm
week.
going to say that's got to be the toughest birdie out there, certainly under pressure, and certainly that late in a round.
Yeah, and here's what I did on that hole. 17th hole, the first day a par, the second day a par, the third day a bogey, and of course the fourth day a birdie.
Well, you
So
got
I was even par for that hole.
Nobody was even par for that hole out of the 150 some odd competitors. I guarantee you that.
Well,
Yeah.
walking off the tee box, I had been working with Jim Flick. And I recall Jim telling me that a skied tee ball is still a sign of a good swing. And so that, I think, took the tension that I made a bad swing out of my mind. And then I used to love the fairway woods. So I think I was happy. I was lucky that I had a 5-wood to the green and not a 5-iron.
She's going with a wood. That means that she's got a good long shot, probably pretty close to 185 yards into this narrow opening in front of this green, so she must play a good one.
A young lady who attended Oklahoma City University on a scholarship and played on the men's golf team.
She played a very good-looking shot if it gets here, and it's going to get here. As a matter of fact, it's very good.
All right.
35, 40 feet
Susie
short.
Maxwell Berning on in regulation on the par 4 18th. Now at the 17th tee, Judy Turlumke Rankin. This is a par 3 at Wingfoot, 200 yards in length.
Just on the front of the green.
Well, I was.
300
You
members.
were, and that's why you're the champ. That's why you're the champ. And I again caddied, but so did Neil Christie, one of our. He's won the club championship in a number of tournaments. A Wink, very fine player even till today. He caddied for Judy Rankin.
Ah, my best friend.
Okay, so you can needle her if you want. and
Oh, I
ask-
did. We already, every time we're together, I said, I'm sorry I took it away from you because, she never
Shot.
won it. She never won to open.
It was that birdie on 17, or you would have been tied.
Oh, that's true. Very true.
We would have a 4-way playoff. So she three putted quite a bit. And Neil's a good player. And he said, after 3 days, we didn't do much back then. The caddies did the old show up, shut up, and keep up. And if you were asked for your opinion, and Neil could read the greens as well as anybody there. And finally he said to Judy after the third round, how many cups of coffee do you have a day? She says 5. Judy, one cup tomorrow. That's it. So she was a little, and those greens were treacherous on a day-to-day basis as well as in the open. So she did a little bit better, but imagine all those 3 putts.
I want to tell you something about the caddy. A young boy that was a son of a member caddy for me. I remember him telling me one thing. He said, everything breaks towards the city, towards New York City. Of course, I had to keep asking him which direction New York City was in because of all the big trees and stuff.
Yeah, we have caddies there that use the expression, the city's going to fight it.
Yeah.
Now, Judy was a wonderful ball striker and is a good friend, but she did have her putting problems. But let's face it, I think she won 26 times.
As a young girl, Susie only loved horses. No one in her family played golf. And I think that fact makes it more amazing that she became a Hall of Fame player.
Oh, she won quite a bit. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. Congratulations. You're on a very short list of people. Now, Betsy Rawls and Mickey Wright won 4 U.S. Opens. Very good players. Great to be in a conversation with those 2 players, which you are because you won 3 with Hollis Stacy and Annika Sorensen by my research. That's amazing. Not many people have won 3 U.S. Opens in men's or women's golf. That's an incredible short list.
It's an
Well,
even shorter list. I think not many people have won 3 events in their life.
Well, I think the amazing thing is that, and I don't mean to, knock my own horn, but I won in 68, and then I had my first child in 70, and then won again in 72 and 73. So the 3 wins were in a short period of time, like within 6 years.
You also won the 1965 Women's Western Open, which at the time, Billy, was considered one of the 4 ladies' majors. And
Where was that?
Yeah,
Beverly Country Club in Chicago.
right.
Tough golf course. I was the only person that had a round in the 60s, and that just happened to be my last day. And I beat Marlene Hagee, who became best friends too, by 1 shot.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
everything in Chicago is tough.
Yeah, Beverly was really a tough golf course for us.
It give you a feel, Billy. Patty Berg won the Western Open, the Women's Western Open 7 times.
Did she really?
Babe Zaharias, Babe Diggerson Zaharias, and Louise Suggs won that championship 4 times. It's amazing. So let's pivot a little bit. A few years back, the PGA, let's see, was it the PGA of America got involved with the LPGA Championship, and now this year it's called the KPMG PGA Women's KPMG PGA Championships. It's going to be held at Baltusrol, not too far from Wingfoot this year. What do you think about all of that? And is it help the women's game? That move, that's now years and years ago, I think.
I know, I never did quite, I don't like the name. It's too long, number one. It doesn't really identify women's golf at the start of the title of the tournament.
No, that identifies
I-
the
I
sponsor.
mean, let's make it simple. Just say, ladies professional, blah, 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 instead of putting all that other stuff in front of it.
The LPGA Championship sounded good to me.
Me too, yeah, because that's what it really is. Oh, I know. Well, the sponsors are important. The money's important. Speaking of that, I never played for the money. There wasn't enough money to worry about. I played to win golf tournaments.
I wish to congratulate my fellow inductees, Tim Fincham, Marion Hollins, and Tiger Woods, on this very special occasion. We are all here enshrined together for our sport's greatest honor. Tiger, I know it's hard for you to believe, but as young as I am, I won all my tournaments before you were born. And by the way, Tiger, of my 3 US Opens, the total winnings was $16,000. I was wondering if you'd like to swap checks. Perhaps, if not all, we could do one. Right?
You wouldn't go to the Live Tour if you were asked?
No, sir. No. And today, I mean, even when I was out there, I heard girls, I just want to make the cut. I just want to make the cut. Wait, are you playing just to make the cut, or are you playing to win a tournament? And I think now we've got so many just playing, I just want to finish in the top 10. It's the money. I played because I loved the game and I wanted to win. To me,
And you did.
money was second,
think-
I mean, and how
I
much
think-
money do you really need? I'm sorry, I don't mean to begrudge these people that are wanting all these millions and millions and millions, but anyway, you can only use so much.
You think Rose Zhang has got the same attitude you had? Because she just wants to go out and win. She didn't care about the money.
Perhaps. Because she's young. I don't know. I don't know her background. I don't know.
Well, Tiger Woods certainly wanted to just win.
Yes.
I mean, he made a lot of money, but he went out there to win. There's no, you could see it in his face. You could see it in his interviews, even when he was a kid.
And Palmer, Nicholas, and I mean, you take Mickey, Judy, Kathy, Patty Berg. I mean, Patty Berg, she was a sweetheart, and everybody, as a young kid, I had freckles, and Patty Berg, of course, had a lot of freckles and stuff. And when I was growing up, I used to love to watch Patty Berg because they thought, I was a younger Patty Berg. But anyway, Patty Berg, when she won her first tournament, she got a $100 savings bond.
When I was
That was-
8 years old, the pro at Simon Roy Country Club, Tom Kerrigan, gave me a Patty Berg driver, sawed-off Patty Berg driver. It was my first golf club.
My clubs were Patty Berg Wilson, first clubs ever. Yep. Yeah.
So
And
so they did exhibitions, I suppose, from time to time too, like the men.
oh
did.
yeah, clinics. I mean, when you were, because one of the reasons, I mean, the pro that helped me get started in golf also one time invited me to go over to Lincoln Park in Oklahoma City and watch something. And I actually asked him if I could ride my horse, and he says, "Yeah, tie it up behind the pro shop and by this tree." And it was Patty Berg giving a clinic. And, she was laughing up a storm, taking her hat and turning it one way for a slice and the other way for a hook and stuff. And I actually said to this pro, UC Ferguson, I said, "That's what golf's about?" I said, "She's having a lot of fun. Maybe I should try. I'd like to try that." And so watching Patty give the clinic and at the time Marilyn Smith gave clinics, and it's too bad. Even when I was on the tour, we used to do what we call during the Wednesday afternoon before a round of a tournament, we'd have a swing parade, we called it. And, Patty Berg was the MC, and she'd have us hit various clubs. And of course, the gallery would, come and watch free. And it promoted ladies golf, and it promoted younger kids to get involved. And it's too bad now. In fact, I remember Patty Berg telling me that Wilson paid her $25 a clinic. And when I first joined the tour, I was given a contract by Wilson. And I had to go down to Naples, Florida, and learn how to give clinics Patty Berg's way. And that was a wonderful experience. It really helped me in my teaching and everything else later in my life. And I don't know what happened. I can't remember, but I guess Wilson didn't pay me or something. And so Dunlop offered me something. But anyway, Patty, I admire Patty and her clinics, and Marilyn Smith used to give the clinics. I think it's too bad that they still don't happen. I enjoy the game. I love to talk about it, love to teach it and help people realize, if you want to be good, you're going to have to work at it. So many people think, well, I took a lesson. Okay, now I know how to play. Well, as we well know, that doesn't work. And so many people don't put the time into practice, in my opinion. Okay.
We ask this question to special guests from time to time. What's the one lesson in golf that has lasted your whole life?
I have to say, gosh, it's the people that I meet in golf. I have never, I swear, met somebody that wasn't a nice, decent person that played the game of golf. Golf teaches us to be humble and to love life, I think. To love the outdoors. I feel sorry for somebody who never is able to experience spending some time outside. And I mean, granted, let's say you work in an office, 5 days a week, and then you go to the gym. Well, maybe we could find a way to put the gym outside, or find hiking. I used to do a lot of hiking around here. I love to hike and see things, and I just do.
Take if you're on a golf course.
Any golf course.
Yeah.
Being outside, yeah. But Wingfoot is very special.
Frank, and there you see the very stately clubhouse here at Wingfoot, where Craig Wood, the late Craig Wood, was once the professional, the current professional, and has been since 1945. Claude Harmon and Byron Like You, a Masters champion, and the late great Tommy Armour was a member here beginning in 1951. And well, I'm sorry he's gone, but I did have the pleasure of playing the last round of golf that he played with him right here at Wingfoot.
Well, this club has a tremendous amount of golf history behind it, and all of it's great. It really is a magnificent golf area. They have two great courses here.
And I tell you what, 800 people came to dinner for the celebration?
At least.
That was just unbelievable, amazing.
Getting 800 people in the same place at the same time, all in a good mood, is harder than 17 East.
But I heard so much great feedback from your clinic with Jeff Ogilvy and Billy Harmon that you left more at Wingfoot in 2023 than you just did 50 years ago. And there are a lot of Susie Maxwell Berning disciples, female and male juniors over there, that are going to remember that day, that Sunday, a couple of Sundays ago, that you spent time with them. That's really something.
Well, thank you. I kind of wish I did more and spent more time with them. And there's one little girl I remember. She took her putter and I acted like it was a driver. I mean, I don't know if you call that little girl, but she went after it 99 miles an hour. And I wanted to try and get her and say, let's roll the ball a little bit. We're not going to hit the putt. We're going to roll it, calm her down a little bit. But it was funny watching what, those kids, they had a good time.
Do you have a favorite movie that you like to see once in a while?
I like Westerns. I've always liked Westerns. Yeah. I mean, I love the scenery. I think horses are some of the prettiest, beautiful animals in the world. And I mean, I think I watch Westerns because more for the scenery and the horses, and then the third would be the actor.
Billy likes horses and likes Westerns, don't you, Billy?
I do. I love
All
horses.
right, Billy. Yeah. Do you have any horses, or did you have horses?
No, I just put money on them and hope they do as well as you did in the Open.
Oh, you bet on racehorses.
Yeah.
My father used to do that, and here he always said, if a horse relieved itself before the race, he knew the horse was going to run good.
Yeah, so somebody just said that to me this weekend. By the way, history was made this weekend when the first woman trainer won the first Triple Crown race that was ever won by a woman trainer.
No,
Well,
definitely.
this has been awesome, Susie. We've learned so many things from you. We like to ask a question. Let's say you went to a cocktail party and it was a pretty busy room. On one side of the room was Frank Sinatra in his prime. So let's just talk a few years ago. On the other side of the room was Arnold Palmer in his prime. You come into that room, where are you going?
Palmer.
Absolutely. I knew you would say
Of
that.
course. I mean, I was very fortunate. I played 18 holes with Arnold Palmer. My brother Roger, who's been influential in golf all these years, he was head pro at Camelback Country Club, and then he started a retail store called In Celebration of Golf in Scottsdale. And he actually became very good friends with Arnold, and he attended. Arnold used to have a big birthday party in Latrobe, and Roger was always invited to that. And he went to the last birthday party. But Arnold was always very nice to me. Like I said, I played 18 holes with him. Just a peach of a guy. Just a
Nice
peach
to
of a guy.
everybody. He was a true gentleman.
Yeah, he remembered my name. I mean, there's others that, I played 18 holes with somebody else, and, years later kind of said, oh, you did? Anyway.
Well, I dare say that everyone that played in your era on the LPGA, on the elite tour, as they call it now for women, they all knew your name. 4 major championships. You competed a lot. You were very tough to beat from 1966 to the early 70s for that 8-10 year period of time. Maybe you were even tougher to beat later. But
And
you
there's
made an
also
impression.
1,500 Wingfoot members who will know your name forever.
Well, that was such a fun trip. Thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate your time, and but this has been awesome. Any parting thoughts, Billy?
I just feel lucky to have been in the company of Susie Maxwell Berning. I've had, my brother was a historian at Wingfoot for years, and I found in his effects when he passed away a flag that you autographed. I brought it over to the pro shop, so they have it in their archives. Thank you for what you've done for golf and for Wingfoot, and thank you for joining us today. It was an honor.
You're welcome.
You wouldn't go to the Live Tour if you were asked?
No, sir. No. And today, I mean, even when I was out there, I heard girls, I just want to make the cut. I just want to make the cut. Wait, are you playing just to make the cut, or are you playing to win a tournament? And I think now we've got so many just playing, I just want to finish in the top 10. It's the money. I played because I loved the game and I wanted to win.
I'm honored and privileged to be selected into golf's elite class of accomplished athletes. People like Patty, Mickey, Judy, Kathy, Jack and Arnie, and so many others. And it's the only Hall of Fame in sports, which honors both men and women together. Not bad for a girl 5'2" from Oklahoma who really thought horses was going to be her future, not golf.
Why are you laughing?
Well, at least we have the laugh to add at the end.
Right. We've gone from 12 handicaps at this to 19 handicaps in just a week.
That's what happened. Somebody changed my grip, and the next thing you know, I can't do the podcast anymore. I felt like I was in the first row of the first pew at church right during the sermon.
And your brother was poking you.
My brother was making me laugh.
Thanks for joining us
Casper,
today.
Billy
We
Harmon,
really appreciate your
Double
feedback.
Indemnity,
And please
Arky,
subscribe to the
Two
show.
Outer,
Hit them
Odd
hard.
Job,
and hit them off.
That's 36 holes.